I bled out on an operating table while my family posed for photos at a charity gala. That's not even the worst part. I died for 78 seconds while my sister accepted a humanitarian award. My name is Peyton, and until that night, I was the backbone of the Lowe family. The fixer. The responsible one. The daughter who'd drop everything at 3 a.m. because Mum was having another meltdown about Dad's latest business failure, or because Jade needed someone to bail her out of whatever mess she'd created. "Miss, you really need to go to urgent care," my assistant had said earlier that day, watching me double over at my desk. "That's not food poisoning." I waved her off, focused on finishing the presentation that would save Dad's company from another financial disaster. "Just give me 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes nearly cost me my life. By the time I made it to urgent care, my vision was blurring. The doctor took one look at me and called for an ambulance. "Internal bleeding," I heard him say. "Possible ruptured cyst." I fumbled with my phone, trying to call Mom. Straight to voicemail. "Hey, it's me. They're taking me to Memorial. Something's wrong. Another wave of pain cut me off. Called Dad. Nothing. Jade's number was my last try. She picked up on the fourth ring. "Peyton, I can't talk right now. The gala starts in 2 hours and the caterer messed up the..." "Jade, I'm in an ambulance. They think something's ruptured." "Oh my God, seriously, tonight of all nights. You know this is my moment. I'm getting the Young Humanitarian Award." The paramedic grabbed my phone as my eyes rolled back. The last thing I heard was Jade's voice. "Just handle it yourself for once, okay? I've got to go." I woke up to beeping monitors and fluorescent lights. A nurse, Rowan, according to her badge, was adjusting my IV. "Welcome back," she said softly. "You gave us quite a scare." My throat felt like sandpaper. "My family?" Rowan's smile faltered. "We called all your emergency contacts when you went into surgery, left messages." "How long was I..." "The surgery took 4 hours. You've been out for about 6. My phone sat on the bedside table. No missed calls, no texts, just an Instagram notification. Jade Lowe tagged you in a photo. With trembling fingers, I opened it. There they were. Mom in her designer gown, Dad in his tuxedo, and Jade in the centre, golden dress sparkling as she held up her award. The caption read, "Family is everything. Couldn't have done this without their endless support." To Blessed. The timestamp showed it was posted while I was in surgery. "Your doctor will be in shortly," Rowan said, touching my arm gently. "You should rest." I nodded, unable to speak. My body felt hollow, and not just from the surgery. Dr. Warner arrived minutes later, clipboard in hand. "How are you feeling, Peyton?" Like I was gutted. My attempt at humour fell flat. "That's not far from the truth. The ruptured cyst caused severe internal bleeding. We almost..." He paused, consulting his notes. "There's something you should know. During the surgery, there were complications." I stared at the ceiling, already knowing what he'd say. "Your heart stopped. For 78 seconds, you were clinically dead." A laugh bubbled up in my throat. Harsh, foreign. 78 seconds. That's specific. "We document everything precisely." He studied my face. "Is there someone we can call for you?" I looked at my phone again. Still nothing. 10 hours had passed since my first call for help. "No," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "There's no one to call." After Dr. Warner left, I opened my photos, scrolled back through years of family moments I'd captured. Birthdays, holidays, celebrations. Always behind the camera, never in front. Always the one making sure everyone else was taken care of. Positioned perfectly, smiling just right. My finger hovered over the delete button. Rowan returned with pain medication. "Your sister called while you were talking to the doctor. Said she hopes you're feeling better and asked if you could transfer some money for the gala's after-party expenses. I closed my eyes, feeling the morphine spread through my system. Did she ask if I was alive? No, Rowan said quietly. She didn't. For 78 seconds, I had been dead. Now, lying in that hospital bed, I made a decision. Those 78 seconds would be the last thing I'd ever give my family. I didn't know it then, but that night, while my heart stopped on an operating table, was when I finally started living. The morning after surgery, I scrolled through social media from my hospital bed, watching my family's perfect life play out in filtered squares. There were dozens of photos from the gala, each one a knife twisting deeper into my chest. Mum's caption under a group shot. So proud of my baby girl. A mother couldn't ask for a more perfect evening. I zoomed in on their faces, searching for any hint of concern, any shadow of worry about their other daughter bleeding out across town. Their smiles were radiant. My phone buzzed. Jade. Oh my God, you will not believe what happened after you went to the hospital. She didn't wait for my response. Jordan proposed, right there at the gala. It was like a fairy tale. I stared at the ceiling, counting the tiles. 1, 2, 3. Peyton, are you even listening? I died last night, I said flatly. Don't be so dramatic. The doctor said you're fine now, right? Anyway, about the wedding. My heart stopped for 78 seconds. A pause. Then, well, you always did have terrible timing. You know how important last night was for me. I hung up. Rowan came in to check my vitals, frowning at my elevated heart rate. Everything okay? Just family stuff? I tried to sit up, wincing. When can I leave? Doctor wants to keep you another day for observation. She adjusted my pillows. Your mother called the desk, asked if you could email over some work documents for your father. Of course she did. My phone lit up with texts. Mum, need you to look over Dad's quarterly reports. Urgent, Dad. Call me ASAP. Bank meeting tomorrow. Jade, don't tell Mum, but I maxed the family card on the after party. Can you transfer 5K? Rowan watched me delete each message. Want me to tell them you're resting? Tell them whatever you want. I pulled up my email instead, typing quickly, to HR department. Subject, emergency contact update. Please remove the following names. A knock at the door interrupted me. Emery from work stood there, holding a travel mug and a laptop bag. Thought you might need these. She set them down and pulled up a chair. Real coffee, because hospital coffee is criminal, and your laptop, because I know you. For the first time since waking up in this sterile room, I felt tears prick my eyes. The office is fine, Emery continued. I handled the presentation. Your dad's company will survive without you for a few days. Thank you. My voice cracked. Also, I brought this. She pulled out a folder. Medical proxy paperwork. Thought you might want to make some changes. I stared at her. How did you... Because I've met your family, Peyton, and I was here last night when they weren't. My phone buzzed again, a text from Jordan. Your sister told everyone you had food poisoning. Thought you should know. Emery took my phone gently. Want me to turn this off? Before I could answer, Mum burst into the room in full society wife regalia, trailing Chanel No. 5 and disapproval. Peyton, darling, you look awful. Why didn't you tell us it was this serious? She air-kissed near my cheek. We were so worried when we got the messages this morning. This morning, I repeated. Not last night during the 4 hours I was in surgery. Oh, honey, you know how these events are. We couldn't just leave. Jade was receiving an award. I died, Mum. She waved her hand dismissively. Don't be melodramatic. You're fine now. And speaking of fine, wait until you see Jade's engagement ring. Jordan did wonderfully. though of course they'll need help with the down payment on their house. I told them I think Peyton needs rest, Emery cut in, standing. Doctor's orders. Mum blinked as if noticing her for the first time. And you are? Someone who was here last night? I said quietly. The room went still. Mum's perfect mask cracked just for a second. Well, she huffed, gathering her purse, I can see you're not in a reasonable mood. Call when you're feeling more yourself, darling. Oh, and don't forget those documents for your father. After she left, Emery handed me back my phone and the folder. Ready to make those changes? I opened the medical proxy form and started writing. With each line, each emergency contact removed and replaced, I felt lighter, like I was finally cutting away dead weight I'd carried my whole life. They're going to be furious, I said, signing the last page. Emery took the forms, her expression serious. Let them be. You almost died, Peyton. Maybe it's time to start living. I looked at my phone one last time before turning it off. The family group chat was blowing up with wedding planning messages. Not one person had asked how I was doing. Yeah, I said, feeling something shift inside me. Maybe it is. 3 days after surgery, Emery helped me settle into my apartment. Every movement felt like my insides were being rearranged, but it was better than another minute in that hospital room, fielding my family's demands. Your fridge is empty, Emery called from the kitchen. I'm ordering groceries. You don't have to. Already done. She appeared in the doorway. And I'm staying in your guest room tonight. No arguments. My phone pinged. Another email from Dad's accountant about urgent transfers needed for the business. Delete. A text from Jade. Mom says you're being difficult? Whatever. I need you to help with wedding venue deposits. Delete. Here. Emery handed me a stack of papers. Your lawyer dropped these off at the office? I flipped through them. Bank account separation forms, power of attorney revocation, trust fund documentation. Each page represented another cord to cut. There's something else, Emery said, pulling out her laptop. Remember how I handle IT for the hospital board? I found something weird in your admission records. She turned the screen toward me. There, time-stamped during my surgery, was a document authorizing my sister as my medical proxy, with my electronic signature. That's impossible, I whispered. I never signed anything. Exactly. Emery's voice was hard. Someone submitted this while you were unconscious. The timestamp matches when Jade was at the gala. My hand started shaking. She forged my signature while I was dying? There's more. Emery clicked through several emails. She used it to authorize them to continue the gala proceedings without liability. Basically, covered herself legally in case you didn't make it. The room spun. I grabbed the trash can just in time. After I finished being sick, Emery handed me water. We need to report this. No. I wiped my mouth. I have a better idea. I picked up my phone and called my lawyer. Margaret? I need everything locked down, every account, every document, every legal tie, and I want a full audit of my trust fund activity for the past 10 years. Already on it, Margaret replied. And Peyton, you should see this. She emailed over bank statements showing systematic withdrawals from my trust fund during college. Withdrawals I never made. Your parents had access, Margaret explained. They've been dipping in for years. Want me to pursue it? Not yet. I looked at the amounts. Thousands siphoned away while I worked 3 jobs to make ends meet. Just document everything. My doorbell rang. Emery checked the camera. It's your mother. Don't answer. Peyton, Mum's voice carried through the door. I know you're in there. Your father needs those signatures today. We waited in silence until her heels clicked away. You okay? Emery asked. Better than okay. I pulled up my contact list and started deleting numbers. I'm free. That night, after Emery went to sleep, I sat on my balcony with a cup of tea, watching the city lights. My phone lit up with a text from Jordan. Just saw what Jade did with the hospital forms. I'm so sorry. For what it's worth, I'm calling off the engagement. I wrote back, thank you for telling me. Then I opened my laptop and began writing. To all hospital administrative staff subject, fraudulent documentation. Notice I'm writing to report unauthorized access to my medical records. 2. Family. Financial advisor. Subject, account separation notice. Effective immediately, please remove my name from all shared accounts. 2. HR department. Subject, emergency contact final update. Please remove all previously listed family members. Each email felt like setting down a weight I'd carried for years. My phone buzzed again, Jade calling. For the first time in my life, I hit block. The next morning, Emery made coffee while I checked my emails. Confirmations rolled in, accounts separated, medical records secured, legal barriers erected. Your sister's been calling the office, Emery mentioned. Says it's an emergency. It always is. I sipped my coffee. Did she say what kind? Something about wedding vendors threatening to sue over bounce checks. I smiled. Sounds like her problem. You know they're going to escalate, right? Let them. I showed her my phone. Dozens of missed calls, hundreds of texts. I'm done bleeding for people who wouldn't even notice if I bled out. Emery squeezed my shoulder. Want to get breakfast? There's a new place downtown. Actually, I said, I think I'm ready to go back to work. You sure? It's only been... I'm sure, but first... I pulled up my email one last time. To Jade. Subject, hospital records. I know what you did. Don't ever contact me again. Pete. There, I said, hitting send. Now we can get breakfast. For the first time since the surgery, my scars didn't hurt. Maybe because I'd finally stopped letting them cut deeper. Your mother's in the lobby again, my assistant Sarah announced through the intercom. 3rd time this week. I didn't look up from my computer. Standard response. I'm sorry, Mrs. Lowe, but Peyton's in meetings all day. Through my office window, I watched Mum's perfectly coiffed head bob angrily as she argued with security. Same script, different day. It had been 3 weeks since I'd blocked their numbers, and they still hadn't gotten the message. My office phone rang. The front desk. Miss, your sister's here too now. Of course she was. I grabbed my coat and laptop. Sarah, I'm working from home. If anyone asks... Meetings all day, got it. I was halfway to the emergency stairs when Jade's voice rang out. Peyton, stop right there. Instead, I walked faster. You can't ignore us forever. She clicked after me in her heels. Mum's crying every day. Dad's business is falling apart. My wedding vendors are threatening legal action. I spun around. Sounds rough. Maybe forge some more documents to fix it. She paled. That's not... I didn't... Save it. I saw the timestamps, Jade. You committed fraud while I was dying. I had to. The gala was too important. More important than my life? Yeah, you made that clear. I turned away. Goodbye, Jade. Wait! She grabbed my arm. Please, I need your help. The wedding venue's suing for $60,000, and Jordan's not returning my calls, and... I yanked free. Not my problem. But you're my sister. Funny, I wasn't your sister when I was bleeding out. The emergency door clicked shut behind me, cutting off her protests. At home, I poured a glass of wine and opened my laptop. Another email from Margaret, my lawyer. Trust fund audit complete. Your parents withdrew $157,000 during your college years. Want to pursue legal action? I sipped my wine, remembering those years. Working multiple jobs, eating ramen, while Mum posted photos of their European vacations. Now I knew how they paid for them. My doorbell rang. Through the camera, I saw Mom, mascara streaking her face. "Peyton, please, just talk to us. We're family." I turned up my music to drown out her voice. My phone lit up, a text from Emery. "Therapy at 7? I'll drive." "Yes, please," I replied. Dr. Lisa's office felt safer than my apartment lately. She looked up from her notes as I settled into the familiar chair. "Rough day? Family ambush at work." I stared at my hands. "They're getting desperate." "How does that make you feel?" "Nothing." I met her eyes. "That's the weird part. I feel nothing." She nodded. "Tell me about when you started feeling nothing." A memory surfaced. Me, at 10 years old, folding laundry while Mom sobbed about Jade's latest crisis. "You're such a good girl, Peyton," Mum had said, mascara staining my freshly folded shirts. "So practical. At least I have one daughter I can rely on." I told Dr. Lisa about that day, about all the days that followed, about being the family ATM, therapist, and fixer while Jade got all the attention. "You were parentified," Dr. Lisa said, "made responsible for your parents' emotional and financial well-being from a young age. And now I'm abandoning them. Are you? Or are you finally allowing them to face consequences?" Before I could answer, my phone buzzed, a number I didn't recognize. "Hello? Peyton?" It was Jordan. "We need to talk. In person. It's important." I hesitated. "It's about something I found on your mum's phone. Something you need to hear." Dr. Lisa watched me carefully. "Everything okay?" "I don't know," I stood up, "but I'm about to find out." Jordan was waiting at a coffee shop downtown, looking nervous. He slid his phone across the table. "I found this while helping your mum with her phone settings. It's from 15 years ago. She never deleted it." I pressed play. Mum's voice filled my ears, younger but unmistakable. "I can't do this anymore, Sarah. You don't understand. Peyton wasn't supposed to happen. We kept her because your father was afraid of how it would look. But I never wanted... God, I sound horrible. Delete this message." The recording ended. My hands didn't shake. My eyes stayed dry. "I'm sorry," Jordan said quietly. "I thought you should know." I handed back his phone. "Thank you." "What are you going to do?" I gathered my things, feeling strangely light. "Nothing. They're going to do it all to themselves." Outside, the sun was setting. I texted Emery. "Want to help me look for a new apartment? Thinking it's time for a change?" Her reply was instant. "Already looking? Wine and real estate websites tonight?" I smiled, walking away from the coffee shop, from Jordan, from the last threads of my old life. "Perfect," I wrote back. "I'm ready for something new." 6 months passed like a deep breath finally released. My new apartment overlooked the river, far from my old neighborhood. No more surprise visits, no more family ambushes. Just peace. "Happy birthday!" Emery burst through my door with a cake and a bottle of champagne. Behind her, a small group of friends filtered in. Actual friends, not the society connections Mum had forced on me. "You didn't have to..." "Shut up and blow out your candles," Emery laughed. For the first time in my life, I celebrated my birthday without a single family obligation. No last-minute crisis to solve, no checks to write, no emotional fires to extinguish. My phone buzzed. Email from Dad. "The bank is foreclosing. Your mother's hysterical. We need $200,000 by Friday or we lose everything. I know you're going through a phase, but family helps family. Call me." Delete. "Earth to Peyton." Emery waved her hand in front of my face. "Present time." They'd gotten me thoughtful gifts. A camera for my new photography hobby. Books I'd mentioned wanting to read. A spa day package. No strings attached, no hidden obligations. "Speech!" someone called out. I raised my champagne glass. Thank you all for... My doorbell rang. Through the camera feed, I saw Jade, mascara streaked down her face. Don't answer it, Emery said quietly. Peyton, please! Jade's voice carried through the door. Everything's falling apart. Jordan left me, the wedding's cancelled, Dad's losing the house. I need my sister. My friends looked uncomfortable. I took another sip of champagne. Should we turn up the music? Someone suggested. Jade's voice grew louder. I know you're in there. I can hear people. Mum's having panic attacks every day. Dad's talking about bankruptcy. You're killing them. No, I said calmly. They did that themselves. After 15 minutes of unanswered pleas, Jade finally left. The party resumed, but something had shifted. You okay? Emery asked later, helping me clean up. Better than okay. I showed her my phone. Dozens of missed calls, countless texts, all from unknown numbers they kept creating. Look at these messages. Mum, how could you abandon us like this? Dad, your mother's health is declining from stress. This will be on your conscience. Jade, if Dad has another heart attack, it's your fault. They're getting desperate, Emery observed. They're getting consequences. I blocked another new number, probably for the first time ever. My laptop pinged. An email from Margaret. Your parents are attempting to access old accounts, all blocked. Also, found something interesting. They've been lying about the business's finances for years. The empire was smoke and mirrors, propped up by your money. Want details? Not anymore, I replied. That night, after everyone left, I sat on my balcony watching the river. My phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. A photo of my childhood home with a foreclosure notice. Mum, is this what you wanted? To destroy your family? I thought about that recording Jordan had found, about being the unwanted child they kept for appearances, about bleeding out alone while they posed for photos. No, I typed back. This is what you created. Then I blocked that number too. The next morning, Sarah buzzed my office. Your father's here. He looks unwell. Call security. Peyton, please. Dad's voice broke through. Just 5 minutes. Security's on their way, sir, Sarah said firmly. Through my office window, I watched 2 guards escort him out. He looked older, defeated. The expensive suit was wrinkled, his shoulders slumped. My phone buzzed. Jade again, somehow texting from another new number. They're serving eviction papers tomorrow. Mum's talking about suicide. How can you be so cold? What happened to you? I stared at the message for a long time before replying. I died for 78 seconds. Remember? Then I turned off my phone and opened my laptop to book a vacation. Somewhere far away. Somewhere new. Emery popped her head in. Lunch? Actually, I said, how do you feel about Thailand? She grinned. For lunch? Ambitious. For 2 weeks, next month, I need a change of scenery. Running away? No. I showed her the flight options. For the first time in my life, I'm running towards something. Count me in. She sat down to help plan. Your family's going to implode while you're gone. They've been imploding my whole life. I clicked book now on 2 tickets. I just won't be there to catch the pieces anymore. As if on cue, my office phone rang. Mum's newest number. I unplugged it without breaking stride. So, I said to Emery, beach resort or city hotel? The silence in my office felt like freedom. We need to talk. Jordan stood outside my office looking grim. It's worse than you know. I checked my watch. 2 days before my Thailand trip, and family drama was still finding ways to seep in. I have nothing to discuss about Jade, or... This isn't about Jade. He glanced around. Can we go somewhere private? At a nearby coffee shop, Jordan pulled out his phone. "Remember that voicemail I showed you? About you being unwanted? There's more." My stomach clenched. "I don't need—" "Trust me, you do." He pressed play. Mum's voice filled the space between us. "Sarah, I did something terrible. The trust fund. Theodore and we've been taking more than just college money. Peyton's inheritance from her grandmother. We spent it all. Years ago. The documents we showed her were fake. If she ever finds out—" The recording cut off. My coffee turned to acid in my stomach. "There's one more," Jordan said quietly. "From last week. Another recording. The bankruptcy papers are ready. Once we file, Peyton will have to help. She's always been our safety net. She'll cave when she sees how bad it is. She has to. We've got nothing left to sell except—" "Except what?" I asked, though I already knew. "Your grandmother's house. The one you think you inherited. They sold it 3 years ago. The world tilted sideways. That house was my escape plan since childhood. The place I'd hide when Mum's screaming got too loud or Jade's drama too suffocating. Grandmother had left it to me specifically, knowing I'd need a sanctuary." "How did you get these?" "Jade's been recording your Mum's breakdowns for years. Blackmail material, I think. I found them when I was moving my stuff out." My phone buzzed. Emery. "Emergency at work. Your dad showed up drunk. I have to go." I stood up. "Thank you, Jordan. For everything." "There's one more thing." He hesitated. "They're planning something big. Your mum mentioned medical power of attorney papers they kept from the hospital night. Said it was their insurance policy." Ice ran through my veins. "What kind of insurance?" "The kind that could force you to take responsibility for their debts. They're desperate, Peyton. Be careful." Back at the office, security had already removed Dad, but the damage was done. He'd caused a scene in the lobby, shouting about ungrateful daughters and family duty. "He left this." Emery handed me an envelope. Inside was a single photo, me at 8 years old, bandaging Jade's knee after a fall, while Mum took pictures of her tears. A post-it note read, "You were always the responsible one. Don't fail us now." "I'm calling Margaret," I said, reaching for my phone. My lawyer answered immediately. "I was just about to call you. Your parents filed something concerning with the hospital. They're trying to use those forged documents from your surgery night to claim ongoing medical power of attorney." "Can they?" "No, but they're desperate enough to try. Want me to handle it?" "Please." I sank into my chair. "And Margaret? Check if they sold my grandmother's house." Her silence was answer enough. "Already on it," she finally said. "I'll add it to the fraud investigation." After hanging up, I stared at the photo Dad had left. That little girl with the bandages, always ready to fix everyone else's wounds while hiding her own. My phone lit up. A text from an unknown number. A video. Against my better judgment, I played it. Mom appeared, mascara running. "Peyton, baby, please. We're about to lose everything. Your father, he's not well. The doctors say his heart. Please, call us. We need you. You're our daughter." I zoomed in on her face, searching for any genuine concern. All I saw was manipulation. Emery knocked softly. "Security footage shows your mum in the parking garage." "Of course she is." I grabbed my coat. "Back door." Already called a car. As we snuck out through the service entrance, my phone exploded with notifications. Flying monkeys, family friends, distant relatives, all suddenly concerned about my cruel behaviour. "Your mother's worried sick. How could you abandon your family? Your father might not survive this stress." Each message made me more certain of my decision to leave. Still want to move up that Thailand trip? Emery asked as we drove away. I looked back at my office building, where Mum was undoubtedly still waiting to ambush me. At the life I'd spent decades propping up for people who'd sell my inheritance behind my back. Actually, I said, why wait? Let's go home and pack. Now? But the tickets are changeable. I pulled out my phone. I'm done waiting for their next move. It's time to make mine. As we drove away, I deleted every unread message without opening them. Let them scheme and manipulate. I'd be on a beach halfway around the world, finally living my own life. The irony wasn't lost on me. They'd sold my sanctuary, not knowing I'd build my own, far beyond their reach. The call came while I was watching sunset from a Thai beach, toes in the sand, not a family crisis in sight. Unknown number, but something made me answer. Is this Peyton? A tired voice I didn't recognise. This is Memorial Hospital. Your father had a stroke. He's in critical condition. The waves kept rolling in. My heart kept beating. The world didn't stop. I'm not listed as his contact anymore, I said calmly. You're still on one form as medical proxy. We need authorization for... Check again. All those documents were forged. Silence. Papers shuffling. I see the fraud report now. I'm sorry to have bothered you. I hung up and turned back to the sunset. My phone immediately lit up with messages. Jade. Dad's dying and you're on vacation? You heartless bitch. Mum. How dare you? Get back here immediately. Unknown numbers. Your father needs you. Emery looked up from her beach chair. Everything okay? Dad had a stroke. I took a sip of my coconut water. They're trying to guilt me into coming back. Are you? No. More messages flooded in, each one more desperate than the last. Mum. The doctors need approval for surgery. Your father could die. Jade. His blood will be on your hands. Family friend. How can you be so cruel? They're your parents. I forwarded everything to Margaret. Already on it, she texted back. Hospital's been notified about the fraud. Your mother has full legal authority as his wife. They don't need you. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky orange. My phone kept buzzing. Want me to turn it off? Emery offered. No. I scrolled through the messages with detached curiosity. I want to remember this moment. A video came through. Mom at Dad's bedside, crying for the camera. Peyton, please. He's asking for you. How can you do this to us? I zoomed in on the background. Dad's expensive watch was still on his wrist. Mum's designer purse sat in the corner. They still had plenty to sell before truly hitting bottom. The next message was from Jordan. They're lying about the severity. Doctors said it was mild. They're trying to manipulate you. I know, I replied. A final text from Jade. Fine. You want to know the truth? We're broke. The house is gone. All Dad's businesses failed. We need your money. Happy now? I showed Emery the message. Took them long enough to admit it. What are you going to do? I opened my banking app and looked at my savings. The money they'd expected to bail them out with. Instead, I clicked transfer and moved it to a new account they'd never find. Nothing, I said. My phone rang again. The hospital. Miss, your mother is insisting we need your approval for... Let me be clear, I interrupted. I died on your operating table while they attended a party. They forged documents that night to cover their absence. I've sent proof to your legal department. Do not call me again. Silence. Then, I understand. I'm so sorry. After hanging up, I turned off my phone and laid back in my beach chair. The sky had turned purple, stars beginning to peek through. You really won't go back? Emery asked softly. They didn't come back for me, I said. Why should I go back for them? Later that night in our hotel room, I checked my email one last time. A message from Margaret contained hospital records. Dad's condition was stable, minor stroke. excellent prognosis. Another email from Jordan had photos of Mum and Jade shopping at Gucci that afternoon, apparently not so devastated by Dad's condition. I closed my laptop and walked onto the balcony. The ocean breeze carried away the last of my doubt. My phone lit up with a final voicemail from Mum. "How dare you abandon us like this? After everything we've done for you, we gave you life." "No," I whispered to the night air. "You gave me obligations. I'm giving myself life now." Emery joined me on the balcony with 2 glasses of wine. "Your mum called the hotel. I told them not to put any calls through." "Thank you." I took a glass. "Not just for that, for everything." "That's what real family does," she said simply. I looked out at the ocean, thinking about the hospital night when my heart stopped, about waking up alone, about all the times I'd bled for people who saw me as nothing but a safety net. My phone buzzed one final time. A text from Jade. "Please, we need you." I deleted it without responding and turned off my phone. They needed me, but I didn't need them. Not anymore. The ocean waves kept rolling in, washing away everything but peace. The foreclosure sign stood stark against my childhood home as I parked across the street. Through my camera lens, I captured the empty windows, the overgrown lawn, the "no trespassing" notice. Perfect metaphors for a family that had finally run out of lies to tell. My phone buzzed. "Margaret. Final, paperwork filed. All ties legally severed. You're officially free." I took one last photo and packed away my camera. This would be the final shot in my gallery exhibition. 78 seconds. A story of rebirth. Emery's car pulled up beside mine. "You sure about this?" "I need to see it empty," I said. One last time. We walked up the cracked driveway. Through the windows, I could see vacant rooms where family portraits once hung. The grand staircase where Jade had posed for countless photos while I steadied Mum's camera. The kitchen where I'd bandaged wounds and absorbed tears. All empty now. "Someone's coming," Emery warned. A familiar Mercedes pulled up. Mum stepped out, designer sunglasses hiding her eyes. She'd lost weight, but her clothes were still expensive, still keeping up appearances. "Peyton?" Her voice cracked. "I knew you'd come back. We can fix this baby. We can—" "I'm not back." I raised my camera. "Just documenting the end." "The end?" She laughed sharply. "We're your family. There is no end." There was. I lowered the camera. 78 seconds of it while you posed for photos. That again? Why can't you let it go? We've lost everything because of your stubbornness. "No," I said quietly. "You lost everything because your lies finally caught up. How's Dad's critical condition?" She flinched. "He's recovering. In the vacation house you claimed you couldn't afford? The one you bought with my grandmother's money? We did what we had to for this family." "For appearances," I corrected. "Always for appearances." A second car pulled up. Jade stepped out, no longer looking like the golden child. Her designer clothes were gone, replaced by department store basics. "Of course you'd show up to gloat," she spat. "Happy now? We're ruined." "No," I said. "You're just finally living in reality." "Reality?" She stormed forward. "Reality is you abandoned us, left us with nothing." "Nothing?" I laughed. You have exactly what you earned, what you built. I just stopped building it for you." "We're your family," Mom pleaded again. "No." I raised my camera, capturing their desperate faces. "You're my past. And this," I gestured to the empty house, "this is your karma." "Karma?" Jade scoffed. "For what?" "For leaving me to die, for forging documents, for stealing my inheritance, for making me believe I was worthless except as your safety net." I lowered the camera. "But mostly for teaching me exactly what family isn't supposed to be." Mom stepped forward, reaching for me. "Please, baby, We can start over. No, I said firmly. We can't, because I died that night. The daughter you could manipulate, the sister you could exploit. She bled out on that operating table. The woman who came back, she doesn't need your approval anymore. I turned to leave, but Jade grabbed my arm. You can't just walk away. Watch me. I pulled free. My exhibition opens tonight. It's called 78 Seconds. You should come see what death taught me about living. Back in my car, I watched them through my rearview mirror. 2 broken women standing in front of an empty house, all their manipulation tactics finally useless. You okay? Emery asked softly. Better than okay. I started the engine. I'm free. At the gallery that evening, my photos told the story. The hospital room where I died. The empty chairs where family should have sat. The foreclosure sign. The final shot. Mom and Jade, desperate and small, in front of their lost kingdom. The plaque beside it read, Sometimes karma isn't revenge. Sometimes it's just stepping away and letting people face the consequences of their own actions. Jordan found me by the champagne. They're here, he whispered. Your family. No, I corrected, watching Mom and Jade slink through the crowd, seeing themselves exposed on every wall. They're just people I used to know. I raised my glass to them as they stared at the hospital photos, at the documented evidence of their absence. They left quickly, finally understanding. Their power was gone. Emery clinked her glass against mine. To 78 seconds. No, I smiled, watching them retreat. To everything that came after. Through the gallery windows, I watched them drive away for the last time. My heart beat steadily, strongly, marking the rhythm of my new life. One where family was chosen, love was earned, and silence spoke louder than manipulation ever could. I was finally, truly alive.